Good morning. I hope that you're all well. It's been 2 weeks since my last Flosstube. It feels like longer than that. So much happened in the last 2 weeks. I'm going to talk about my trip to Tasmania in a little bit, but I just want to let everybody know that the project bag panels for Queen of the May, Elizabeth Stevenson, this is the last week to order those panels. They were only available for, the release of Elizabeth Stevenson. They have been extremely popular. I've been asked about a how-to tutorial. I didn't have time to record one before I left for the workshop, but after this Flosstube today, putting together a how-to tutorial is the very top of my list of to-do things. So by next weekend, there will be a tutorial posted on YouTube. I will also put links on the web pages for the project bags showing how to put them together. I've designed them so that the construction is very simple and quick to do, but that will give you a really nice professional finish. Now, the project bag panels is something that I've been working on for a long time, the template of putting those project bag panels together. And one of the reasons I wanted to do that was because I wanted them for myself. In a few weeks' time, I'm off to the States for my annual get-together with my friends, where we spend the week stitching, talking, laughing and eating chocolate. Now, my remit for my gift for the week was that I wanted to celebrate America, because that's where we always hold our get-togethers. And one of my friends, who really sort of is the linchpin of our group, one of her favourite colours is a soft blue. So I wanted to come up with a gift for them all that incorporated America and soft blue, and I came up with the idea of a project bag. Now I can show it because my friends all know what I have been doing, and the project bag I came up with is a patriotic themed project bag, and here it is. It says the work of my hands, and it features the Statue of Liberty, and inside the lining features the American flag, the Liberty Bell, and celebrates America's independence. And I designed both fabrics so that you could swap them around. You could have the fabric I chose for the lining as the outer fabric, and the outer fabric as the lining. I wanted to give lots of options with this project bag for my friends. So what you get, and I'm making this panel available for all of you as well. So what you get with the panels is the front panel with the section that goes above the zip. The zip will go in there. But I've also done a second colour because I couldn't decide which I preferred. Having the red, which brings out the red in the Statue of Liberty, and the American flag in the second option, but the blue will also work with this as well. And for people who didn't want to have text on their project bags, I actually have offered a section to go above the zip that will match the blue and the American flag lining. And then the binding is this jolly stripe. I think that's so pretty, and it sort of just finishes off the project bag. These are available on my website and will be available up to July the 4th, when the design will be retired. I love it. I'm so pleased with this. And it's lovely to be able to share this with everybody. Last year, my gift for the group was a gorgeous fabric panel, but it was personalised specifically for that event, so it was something that I couldn't really make available to everybody. And this year I wanted to make it available to everybody. So that's the panel that you receive. And I promise you, these project bag panels are so easy and quick to put together. Okay, so my trip to Australia. It was amazing. It rocked. I loved every single minute of it. And yes, it was a long way and I had a horrendous journey back, but I can tell you that every minute in that plane, every mile flown was worth it. I had the most amazing time and the attendees made it amazing. They were brilliant students. There was so much energy, laughter, joy in that room, and they all avidly listened to the lectures and threw themselves into the stitches that we were looking at. They were truly amazing. When Carolyn and I were putting together the workshop, I said to Carolyn what I expected with regards to facilities at the workshop and how I envisaged it to be. I do have high standards, and Carolyn embraced those and went above and beyond. The facilities provided for the workshop were exceptional. I've never been at a venue that had such high standards and facilities. The workshop was held in Hobart, Tasmania. The hotel, I think, was probably the best hotel in Hobart and had exceptionally good conference facility. A whole floor was taken up with facilities for conferences. The hotel was right on the bay and the views from that hotel were fabulous. Just amazing. The hotel was scrupulously clean, you know, really was. The event staff were on the ball and they worked hard to have the room exactly as Carolyn wanted it. Carolyn had an amazing band of helpers and everything ran so efficiently. Well organised. Carolyn had put a huge amount of thought into how everything was going to work and it all came off without a hitch. I was so impressed with the VT equipment in the room. There were 3 huge screens, really high-tech screens, so the quality of the I don't know what you call it, the images on the screen were really high. The lights didn't have to be dim. It was like looking at you know, the highest quality television screen, but on a massive, honestly, massive screens. The lighting in the room was exceptional. There was all specialist lighting in the ceilings, and the VT guy who was present the whole time, right throughout the workshop, could redirect the lights. He could brighten them up, dim them down. The room was laid out in banquet fashion, so big round tables with lots of elbow room. There was a power source on the table for everybody. Every attendee had a plug to plug into to light, you know, to use their electrical equipment. Lots of space between the tables, and you know, that's a blessing for me because I, when I'm not on the stage, I'm constantly moving around the room, going from table to table. and there was nice big clear walkways. Carolyn had her boutique in the room, where she had an amazing array of linens and silks, all sorts of things, and there was always a constant queue of people waiting to pay for things that they had bought. On the Saturday, Carolyn had arranged for Timbu shaker boxes to be there, and I think they're the leading producers of shaker boxes in Australia, and they were very, very impressive. I don't think I've ever seen shaker boxes in so many different sizes. I couldn't resist. I bought a big shaker box, and I bought 2 other boxes from them, and then they gifted me a 4th box, which I thought was very sweet and very unexpected. The workshop opened at 3 o'clock, or registration opened at 3 o'clock on the Friday, and everything had been prepared the day before, so it just ran so smoothly. There was a lovely tote bag full of goodies for all the attendees, and registration just went so quickly, and we were all settled in the room ready to go ahead of schedule. So Carolyn opened the workshop, and I gave a short talk, and then we broke for dinner. Now, it was just like going to a wedding, the meal. There's a dedicated private dining room on the conference floor for attendees of conferences, and this room was large, airy. There were floor to ceiling windows right around the one. It just swept around the room, so you were sitting dining with these magnificent views across the bay. There was a bar in the dining room. There were numerous waiter and waitresses, and the food was exceptional. Honestly, it was just like going to a wedding. After dinner on the Friday, I gave what I think it was a very interesting lecture on a sampler and other samplers from the same area. And then Sandra and Leona, it's the first time the 3 of us have ever been together at the same time. And I have met Sandra in person, I've met Leona several times in person, but we'd never, all 3 of us, been together before. And the 3 of us took the stage, and we sat down, and it was like an audience with, and we talked and we chatted, and the floor asked us lots of questions, and we had a really good time. Saturday morning was the start of our stitching project. We didn't start it on the Friday because people flew in from around the world, and some people arrived that day, and obviously you don't want to start a stitching project when you're tired. So we started with our stitching project, and there were lots of stitches to learn. So throughout Saturday and Sunday, there were videos as people were hitting the stitches in their sampler. There were videos to show how to do that. And I have got to say that all the attendees surpassed my expectations. They really grasped those stitches so well, and it was so lovely to be going round the tables, seeing people's progress, and that they launched into learning with enthusiasm. Carolyn had provided each attendee with a doodle cloth in addition to the linen for their project, so they could practice their stitches, and they really embraced that. The attendees, their enthusiasm, it energised the room, and honestly, all you could hear all weekend was the buzz of chatter and laughter. It was really, truly amazing, and their energy energised me. On the Saturday afternoon, we had a quiz where there were prizes to be won, and that was great fun. I used the quizzes to cover a wide range of topics relating to samplers and needlework, and then when the answers are given, there are bite-sized sort of mini lectures on the topics. It's a great way of learning. There was another fun competition which everybody embraced, and we had 61 people who had 100% on that second competition. I was very impressed. Saturday night, there was a show and tell, and on Sunday there were more presentations, more stitches to learn, and the workshop went very, very quickly. One of the wonderful things in the show and tell was that when the workshop was announced, there was a private Facebook group set up, and in that Facebook group there were various bonus projects for attendees, but there was homework for the students, and the students were given a chart and a black and white photograph of the sampler, but they were not given a thread legend. All they had was a black and white photograph and the chart, and they had to choose their own colours. And this homework created a wonderful series of posts within the Facebook group where people were discussing their thread choices, showing their progress, and we had asked that everybody who had completed the sampler to bring it to the event. And the show and tell started with all those attendees getting up on the stage, and we were really lucky that this stage was a huge long stage because it was full, and everybody revealed their sampler, and then Sandra revealed the original sampler, and it was amazing to see the same sampler but how different it looked with different colours, and people had permission to personalise the sampler, put some specialty stitches in, move the motifs around, change the verse. And I wanted the students to go through that experience because that's what the little girls who originally stitched these samplers would have gone through. And it was an amazing experience. It was so lovely to see. Sunday afternoon finished with a gift exchanged, and honestly the skills that were shown in the handmade gifts that were created were amazing. Throughout the weekend there were gifts from Carolyn. Carolyn's gifts kept on coming out, from the welcome goodie bag to gifts that were placed on the tables to a little goodie bag to go home with. I had lots of gifts for my attendees. Two of those were items that only students in Mrs. Parkman's Academy of Needlework will ever receive. They had tote bags from me, 2 charts. There was just lots of things. Great fun was had by everybody when it came to gifts. I was thoroughly spoilt with gifts. When I went over, I went with 3 suitcases. The smallest one was my personal effects, and the other 2 were full of things for the workshop. Now, I wasn't expecting to bring those things back, so my plan was to put the medium suitcase inside the huge suitcase and my small suitcase inside the medium. Could I do that? No, I couldn't. I filled all those suitcases to the brim with gifts from attendees. Everybody was so generous. And thank you if you're watching. I was thoroughly spoilt by all of you. And of course, I had done a little bit of shopping as well. Carolyn's store, it wasn't far from the hotel. And though small, it was filled to the brim with things to delight needleworkers. I think the thing that I was most impressed with was the range of threads that Carolyn carries. It was quite amazing. If I'd gone into a massive store, I would have been impressed with the range of threads. Truly, truly impressive. She had a wonderful range of linen, and she also had a very impressive haberdashery section. Delightful. I bought 2 little boxes, wooden boxes that I could not resist, and I could have bought a lot more. There we are. So if you go to Hobart, make sure that you pop into A Stitch in Time. And Carolyn also has a wonderful online store, and she does ship around the world. If you're looking for threads, I think you should pop along and have a look at Carolyn's website, or give her a ring if you're based in Australia. I don't know if she has all the threads on the website. The selection of Avera Soie was impressive. She carries a wide range of Avera Soie products, but other makes of threads too. Okay, so that was going to be my only trip to Australia. However, so many people asked me to come back. I couldn't say no. I had an amazing time. And the love in that room was, it got me there. So I said yes. And I told Ray he was fine about it. So I'm going to be going back to Hobart in 2027, probably towards the end of April of that year, but that's not definite yet. There's some planning that's got to be done, and we have to check that there's availability in the conference suite. So watch this space, or watch A Stitch in Time as well for an announcement of that workshop. This workshop was sold out, and I know there were disappointed people, but keep an eye open, and hopefully you'll be able to get a place for the next workshop. Coming home, it was a long journey. It all went pear-shaped when my first flight was cancelled. So I had lots and lots of time to think, and I think I've chosen the sampler for the main workshop project. I've got a very special sampler that I've been holding for something special, so I think it's going to be that one. And I already have the main theme for the workshop, because after having met Australian and New Zealand needleworkers, I've got an idea of something that they're really, really going to enjoy. Okay, I'm going to start to ramble. I've got a how-to video to record, so I better get going. I've got to take the boys out for a walk. Oh, those boys. When I got home Thursday, I got home at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 24 hours late. By 3:30, I was shipping orders, and I didn't finish until the early hours of the morning. When I got into bed, both those boys lay on top of me the whole time. They didn't want to move from my side. Anyway, okay. To recap, this is the last week to order the project bag panels for Queen of the May, Elizabeth Stevenson, and the patriotic project bag celebrating America and American independence is available on my website today, and will be available to July 4th. Until next week, stay well, stay safe, bye-bye.